It's Inked Mage here, and I have been getting similar messages, private messages on Instagram from people who have no 3D terrain, no 2D terrain, minis, some people who have a little bit, wanted to know where to start, what to do, and thought I might be able to impart some wisdom. I hope that I can. And what I want to talk to you about are the options, the cool options that you have. And the things that I have, and what you're seeing from me on my Instagram channel comes from years and years of collecting. I think it's about 15 years, 14 or 15 years. Minis, maps, tiles, later 3D terrain. So don't be discouraged, and I don't want anybody to look and be like, oh, envious, or like, that's not what I want to inspire. I just like to share my nerdy exploits, and I hope to share with you things that you might be able to use in your own games, and you don't have to get everything at once. So I'm gonna take you through and point you at what I think is in the right direction. Bringing you over here, check this out. This was how I did my first 3D terrain. There's blocks, just wooden blocks that I got that I used in conjunction with my D&D tiles. I might, set some blocks up and put this on top, and I did that. So D&D tiles, D&D put out a bunch of these tiles. Now you can find them used, or you can get their reincarnated dungeon, reincarnated wilderness, and reincarnated city tiles, really relatively inexpensive, probably at your brick and mortar store or online, either way. But so I have a bunch of tiles, and I love these tiles. There are so many pieces, and the art is fabulous. They're really cool. I'll just take you through, and you can see how varied they are. I just can't speak highly enough about these. And this is a low-cost way of dressing up your table. Seriously. And, maybe you can't afford to get all these that are out of print. But, again, the D&D reincarnated dungeon, wilderness, and city tiles, and they come in boxes like this. And you could pick up, for $60, you could get all three. For $120, you'd have double set, and it would be fantastic. So let me see. So I have a lot of terrain now. I'm going with the low cost options first. So there's D&D put out their, where is it? It was like a reincarnated, tactical maps, reincarnated, and these have, this isn't the full thing, but it just has really great maps, and the artwork is largely tremendous. Some of them are a little simpler, but a lot of them are really tremendous. And there's also Pathfinder flip maps, and they have wonderful things. Oh, look at this. Look what I got here. Dungeon tiles. This is an original set of dungeon tiles, and I can't tell you how much I just love those. But anyway, I keep a large variety of maps, and I use it in conjunction with my 3D terrain. And you can find water maps, winter forest maps. I won't go through all of what I have, but maps are a very low cost way of dressing up your table. And speaking of mats, excuse the mess here, this is Monster Fight Club terrain mat, and one side is kind of rocky, broken, wasteland, desertous ground. The other is kind of a field with some rocky elements, and they've got some stuff coming up, let me just tell you. But so you drop this down, and again, use this in conjunction with maps or D&D tiles or 3D terrain. So just because I have this on the table, I'm going to show you. You may have seen this in my posts on Instagram, right? These are the newly released WizKids Warlock dungeon tiles. Check this out. These things clip together. They can clip together better. I was just doing it fast and loose. That's why it's a little floppy, but it doesn't matter, because I can just slide and drop that in. But Dan, are they doing sewer tiles? No, check this out. I took sewer tiles from the before mentioned D&D city tiles reincarnated, where you'll get things like city streets, there's buildings, but also on the other side you have sewers. And these fit perfectly in using this terrain. But you could use this terrain to make a dungeon, to make a stone house. I also have, here's a build I had used for something else earlier. Again, you can see how you can just pick this up, right? And because I didn't do it, I didn't do it super secure because I was just moving really fast. That's why that came out, and this just slips between the cracks. But I mean, if I had this secured in there, like you can easily do, it wouldn't have. But the point is that this is a really nice set there. The flip side of the wooden floors are stone. Flip side of the stone floors are wooden. And so I'm mentioning these as a cost-effective way of getting your terrain, because you can get their master set of the town and village, and this isn't the full set, and neither is that the full set of the dungeon set. It's just something that I built using it. But you can get the master set, comes in a nice box for $99. $99, you can build a lot. Even if you were to get 2 sets of each and be able to build a really big amount, you would still be coming way under price of a lot of other terrain out there. Now, I happen to use a lot of set dressing. So here, let me show you. For example, here's set dressing. I have beds in here, and here's tables and chairs. You could use these on maps or in 3D terrain. And the great thing is, a lot of companies like Galadoria Games makes these accessories, but you could also 3D print them. You can also go to Etsy and find places where you get, you know, I needed what do I need? Check this out. I wanted an organ, right? So I went and got this one from Etsy. I think it was like $7, and then I just painted it up. So if you're looking for a particular piece, you can find it. And don't be afraid to build your collection slow. That's what I did. I built my collection slow. It's pretty big, but I built it slow. And in the beginning, I really only used D&D tiles and the Pathfinder maps, and often I would draw out the map using a dry erase marker. Did that a lot. So start slow before you start getting into things. You know, this is from a company in England called Battle Systems, and I'm gonna have more stuff coming soon for you to see that's gonna blow you away for a low amount of price. If you're in the United States, the thing that would probably kill you the most is shipping. So they had just delivered on a Kickstarter. So I got more stuff coming. You know, again, you can have things printed out on Etsy. This is from the Arcania workshop, and these were actually very, very reasonable. This is part of, and I'll show you a couple other pieces, something I found. It's a Russian company I found on Amazon called Clever Paper. You know, a little while back, a friend had recommended that I check them out, so I did. And you can see, you can get, I mean, this was like, I think $13. This was $16. This house, or lighthouse rather, you know, was I think $18. This was, I think, you know, $16 or $17. So you can find these inexpensive ways to do it. Also, let me show you. There's a game company out of Italy, Game 6, and they make these packs. They have little cardstock with outrageously detailed, incredible art, and look at the art. Look how awesome that art is. And they are held magnetically to a magnetic board. Another cool company. I don't have any of the stuff with me right now, but there's 1985 Games, and they make 2D, you know, cardstock, you know, maps that are really, really effective, super low cost. So I had mentioned Galadoria Games. I just wanted to, you see a lot of them, you know, that I use, and like, you know, I keep their docks. You can get in on their city dock set for a really reasonable price. You know, they have docks, they have crypts, they've got a lot of scattered terrain. It's a little dark, but that's their alchemy set. And again, go look on my page. You've got some printable scenery things. I forget, this was from printed and sent to me from Terra Tilescapes from a 3D company's Kickstarter. It's very cool. And, you know, you've been seeing probably tons of my posts, you know, from Monster Fight Club. And it's because I love them. Those guys, not just really, really great folks, but innovators in dressing up your table for really reasonable prices. You're also gonna see, oh look, back here you can, you know, there's Dwarven Forge, right? And Dwarven Forge is the higher end of 3D terrain. It's durable, it's well designed, it looks cool, and I have a bunch of Dwarven Forge. I have dungeons, I have caverns, I have a fair amount, but you know, as their design work increases, you know, their prices go up, and I just, you know what, so it's kind of like, you know what, I like iPhones, but I'm still running an old iPhone because my deal with my provider, you know, it was like getting a new phone for $5 more, but it's like an outdated phone. So I know I'm not the coolest, but you know, I won't buy a new iPhone. So, you know, Dwarven Forge, if you can afford it, go for it. It's, you know, but I think there are more cost-effective ways for you to jump in. If you've got a lot of money and money's no option, I say get it all, because I like the visual variety. I like to be able to mix and match, but you know, there are other ways to do it. Check this out. This is a ship from Tabletop Things. It's really cool. Again, you can see that on my Instagram page, and they do other things too. They're now getting into other sets where, you know, for taverns, for sewers, not just boats. But you know, if seafaring adventures is your thing, then I suggest you check them out especially. And they also do a really good dock set. It's different than Galdoria Games, and you know, but they both have their strengths. And what I like about Tabletop Things is you can adjust the height of the docks, and they also work really well. You know, say you want to do scaffolding in a mine, or scaffolding along a building, or scaffolding along a mountain fortress, something. So lots of variety there. As far as minis, listen, you know, you want to go nuts and build out your characters, you know, using Hero Forge. Check this out. This is my son's Hero Forge mini, Frog Legs. And Hero Forge is great, but you can go with Reaper. Reaper has a lot of minis, a lot of variety, or, you know, that you have to paint. Or you can go with, my personal favorite is to go with the D&D or Pathfinder pre-painted minis, just because I'm a lazy painter and I like to just have them ready, and they also often apply to specific campaigns that are being made. But again, you can also find independent companies, and I just did a video. I'm going to post it to my YouTube as well, probably after this. But it's on IGTV on my Instagram, where I go over like Faux Bender, which so they're 3D resin printed minis, and they are outrageous, because if there's a mini you're looking for, particularly for NPCs, you'll find it. Like, oh, this one isn't Faux Bender, but this is a 3D printed mini because I didn't have a Tarask. I know some of you say Tarask. That's one way to live your life. So this is 3D printed, but D&D hadn't made one, and I really wanted one, and a friend was kind enough to print that up for me, and so I'm very happy. So listen, ultimately at the end of the day, what I'm going to tell you is, and I hope you have found this useful. You could go theater of the mind, and that's how I began D&D. Occasionally we might put out some minis that we were too lazy to paint, just to like put out, and sometimes just to have as a visual representation, just for fun. You can go theater of the mind, and sometimes I still do, less so these days, admittedly. But your players are ultimately going to be grateful just to be playing. So whether you are quickly drawing on a piece of paper, a blank map, laying down a pre-printed map, printing something out from your computer, using D&D tiles, running with WizKids, Warlock tiles, and up and any of the things I said, it's all about the fun and it's all about the story. You could have the best terrain, best minis, best everything, and if the story isn't there, if the group isn't having fun, then what's the point? So you really want to work on getting the essentials. If you are really on a tight budget, I would say pick up a dry erase marker and a map and start there. If you have a little bit of money to spend, start with your D&D tiles. Oh, they are so good. Look at the Pathfinder flip maps, but then definitely start stepping up. Consider companies like, WizKids with the Warlock tiles, but also consider companies like Galadoria Games where you are able to get set dressing and really unique, interesting things to add a little something else to your game that other companies, aren't making. And of course, if you're like me and you wanted wilderness stuff and you were scouring the internet, and I'll just show you, and this is not you'll notice these trees don't show up on my table like they used to. Unless I'm mistaken, I think I'm the first gamer who discovered these. You'll see these in a lot of posts now because people saw it and they asked. These are relatively inexpensive trees found on Amazon, but they don't make much of an appearance on my table anymore because I go with Monster Fight Club. And it's not just because I like the dudes at Monster Fight Club, but it's because the trees are incredible and really reasonable price. So look, dig, find. Don't feel like you have to do it all. You don't have to have it all. You just have to, go into it to have a good time. That's really it. Start small. And you'll see that things accumulate. I have a friend who only started collecting minis, I think last year, maybe? The beginning of last year, something like that. And I think he's already up to like almost 900 minis. I was blown away. So it happens. But just remember, be happy with what you have. Be content. Don't let it become an obsession. I know that peril too well. So if there's anything else regarding terrain I forgot to mention, I apologize. I just wanted to point out that you don't have to have it all. You can start small and get a little bit here and there. I hope you enjoyed this, and if so, check out, I'm doing a weekly giveaway, free giveaway for Monster Fight Club. So you can get some Monster Fight Club scenery free each week. And I'll tell you what, this is the easiest giveaway contest in the world. You won't have to tag a bunch of people. You don't have to do a bunch of things, not a bunch of steps. It's really cool, it's fun, and making it really nice and easy to get their stuff in your hands. So keep posted to my page for more products and interesting things. And thank you guys. Thank you for continuing to check it out and write me and send me your appreciation and the private messages. That feels really good, because when I went into this, when I started to share on the page, it was really just to share my nerdy exploits and with other like-minded people, and it's taken off, and I'm so grateful. So thanks. Have a great day. We're heading into a weekend. Tonight's my game. I still haven't really dressed up my table a whole lot. We'll see what's gonna happen. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell and all those things that YouTubers say that and I'm a little old for that, but like whatever, I guess do that. But definitely follow me on Instagram, because that's where the action is.